He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This one's wife. Mother's Day. Me. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The arrival of an occasion or an event proves often far too tempting to the narcissist not to utilize it for the pursuit of the prime aims. Whether it is Christmas, Easter, a summer holiday, an anniversary of a wedding, your birthday, the narcissist's birthday, and so forth, the narcissism identifies, invariably subconsciously, an opportunity to exploit that occasion for the purposes of the pursuit of the prime aims. With some narcissists, this is done in a subtle manner, whereby people don't recognize what's truly taking place. This allows the narcissist to not only look good, but obtain what they require without putting any noses out of joint. In other instances, the narcissist may well disrupt the occasion, for instance, usurping somebody's birthday, so that attention comes onto the narcissist, allowing them to gather fuel. Unsurprisingly, Mother's Day approached, and, as foreshadowed in an earlier video, the temptation was too great for this one's wife. Once again, the conduit, that is Instagram, lured her to want to post something in order to pursue the prime aims. And so it came to pass that this one's wife posted another photograph with an appropriate caption as she gave tribute to herself. Yes, and why not? After all, she is a narcissist. Beginning with the photograph, we see that she's there with her children, or purportedly her children. One leg raised, she somehow seeks to try and hold on to Archie because she has no hips, and also grabbing Lilibert. I'm going to address the issues of the children in a separate video, but for now, you'll notice that rather than have them stood next to her, leaning in or perhaps holding hands, this one's wife has to go one further because she is a mama mountain. Yes, another awful phrase escaped from the lips of the Duchess of Industrial Beige, the Countess of Clapback, as she stands there grappling to hold the two children whilst undoubtedly telling Harry or the help, "Take a photograph of me from behind. Come on, kids, let's have a cuddle, but remember, don't show your faces." "Why not, Mum?" "Shh, be quiet, do as you're told." They could have just stood there and admired the view together, or they could have been playing a game or doing something whereby it would be far more natural than the performative pose that is adopted here. But it's the caption that tells us so much about this one's wife. "Happy Mother's Day," she announces. "Cheers to juggling it all with joy." Ugh. Once again, her limited vocabulary utilizes joy, and why would you have to juggle it with joy? Isn't it not joy in itself? Anyway. And to these two gems, who still attempt to climb Mama Mountain, smother me with kisses, and make every day the most memorable adventure. Being your mum is the greatest privilege of my life. I, too, love you more than all the stars in all the sky, all the raindrops, and all the salt on all the French fries in all the world. What? That last paragraph, I presume that this one's wife is suggesting that is what the children have said to her. Let me just check the bullshitometer. Yes, it's registering bullshit. There's no way the kids have come out with that kind of bollocks. It's the nonsense that this one's wife's narcissism has generated, thinking, that's the type of thing that kids say, isn't it? I love you to the moon and back, so let's go with more than all the stars in the sky, all the raindrops, and all the salt on all the French fries in all the world. Yeah, because that's what kids will talk about, salt on French fries. Her narcissism gets it wrong again. And you have this ridiculous caption. Now, forgive me, for I am not a parent, but I would have thought that Mother's Day and, of course, Father's Day is you celebrating your parents and the children, if you've got them, celebrating you, not you giving a tribute to yourself. Maybe I've got it wrong, or maybe it's because she's a narcissist. The fact is that the tribute ought to be coming from the children. Now, they don't have social media accounts, so that's no good for this one's wife, because naturally she wants the world to know that, as a mum, she's a wonderful person, and her kids think so. Now, what strikes me is that ordinarily on Mother's Day, what do you tend to do for your mother? Well, in my case, send her some bread and water through the panel in the door, keeping her in that cell. But enough about me and my relationship with my narcissist mother. I understand that ordinarily what you would do is that you might buy a present, that you would write in a card, or if you're a child, often make a card, and you might then spend a bit of time in the day plumping pillows for mum, asking if she'd like a drink, making her something to eat if you're able to do all of those things, and generally fussing around her, perhaps taking her out for lunch and so on and so forth. Therefore, why isn't there a picture, for instance, of the cards that the children will have made for her? It's what children normally do, isn't it? But that's absent. What about a nice gift from them? Harry will, of course, have organised it, but it will have come from them, but no picture of a gift. Did she not get one? What about the fact that they might have done something nice for her or taken her out for the day? Didn't seem to happen. No, instead, we just have a snap of her with the children and she has to write her own tribute, which does rather tend to suggest that nothing was actually provided by the children. Wonder why that might be. Also, notice, where's the tribute to her own mother, Doria? Nothing. It's meant to be Mother's Day, and therefore, surely she should be celebrating the one member of her family that she still has contact with, but there's complete silence. Why? Because she doesn't care about Doria in the slightest. All she cares about is making herself look good and wanting people to know that she's a mum. In this instance, there is no need for her because Doria is not on her radar, which is slightly surprising given that it is Mother's Day. And one suspects what has happened is this. Doria has come upon her radar. Her narcissism has asked, is she under control? The narcissism has probably concluded, no, she's not, because we're not dealing with her. We don't have any data. Nevertheless, do we need anything from Doria? Don't need any fuel. No, we can just assert control over her by staying in a position of withdrawal so she doesn't get mentioned and Doria is left on the shelf. Notice, you see, because this one's wife has no sense of accountability, no conscience, no emotional empathy, she doesn't think, I should put something out for my mother. She just doesn't do so because her narcissism deems it isn't necessary for her to do that. What her narcissism deems necessary in relation to Mother's Day is to get her to show what a wonderful mum she is and that her children adore her as a consequence of the octopus shot, climbing Mama Mountain, and the ridiculous quotation that I mentioned earlier on. Yet, we see nothing actually generated by the children towards her, which would accord with people's suggestion that the children don't exist. Further, because believe me, if the children had made a card for her, she would be showing it off. Of course she would. And in some respects, why not? After all, if you've received a nice card off your children, you might pop it on social media. It's a narcissistic act because you're showcasing. Doesn't mean that you're a narcissist. We know, of course, if she were to do it, it is done for the purposes of the pursuit of the prime aims because she is a narcissist. Thus, a narcissistic act can be performed by both a narcissist and a non-narcissist, but it's the driver behind that narcissistic act which is different. The non-narcissist does it born out of a sense of pride for what their children have done. The narcissist does it born out of a sense of pride, but moreover, in order to assert control and draw fuel from those that they're showing the act of their children to. Thus, with this one's wife, there's nothing that comes from the children, she doesn't bother about Doria, and it's another self-absorbed performance of talking about herself and what a wonderful mother that she is. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.